Good morning. I'm Bill Zortman, and welcome to our It's Your Business show. I've been waiting for this show for 10 years. Show number 3333 in our original It's Your Business series. We need to start with this guy named Tony Bachman. A week from today, report card.
Yeah, report will be coming out, and we'll be curious to see what the numbers are. But I know that there's the trend that we're seeing has been continuing here. But congratulations on that mile marker of the 3333. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
You'd think I was a numbers guy, wouldn't you?
Yes, well, we all are at heart, so.
Speaking of numbers this morning, where are we at? We're now into May. Traditionally, when I first started being a real estate agent 19 years ago?
Just a couple years ago. Yep.
Just a couple years ago. We always looked to May as when the kids got out of school, all the changes were going to be made as far as people deciding to move, find new digs. What about this year? Is it a little different post-COVID and with the trends we're getting?
Well, I think springtime of the year, the premise of what you're talking about where kids are getting out of school and the mindset of maybe springtime is a good time to list is still there. I mean, that part is still, part of our marketplace and a lot of the conversations that we're having where they're like, okay, now is a good time, with the school getting over. Now it's time, if we're going to make this transition, would be a good time to do that. So we're starting to see that a little bit in the listings coming up. And I know that we've seen an increase, an uptick of the, those number of listings. But so I just did a quick snapshot of the last 30 days. 30 days when it comes to the from today going back. New listings were 579 new listings. But here's conversely, we had 479 listings sold, 205 listings were pending, which means the pendings and the solds are still outpacing the new listings by about 9%. So again, so the topic here is in reference to inventory levels. You'll be curious to see how that turns out. The other part is basically we are having these conversations with our buyers about potential for multiple offers, bidding wars, and patience.
We had Ron Nelson in. We talked commercial real estate, and he was talking the same language that those that are in residential real estate are talking about, the number of people from all over the country having interest here, sometimes not even seeing the properties that maybe they want to take over as a business. Same thing with our homes.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we've just seen so we have a lot of interest from people who actually live here making a transition to a new home, whether that's been COVID related, family expansion, that sort of thing, where all of a sudden people realize that, hey, we do want some more space because we are working from home or our kids are home more often. So that's just one component of it. The other component in reference to what Ron was referring to is, we have a lot of businesses that are looking at, moving to South Dakota. And it's not just southeast South Dakota. It's kind of throughout the whole state. We've talked to some of our counterparts out in western South Dakota, like the Black Hills area. They're having some of the same conversations where it's like, oh, wow, amazing. Our inventory levels are decimated, and a lot of it is people coming in from the outside looking at South Dakota as a potential home. And I have had, just last week, I had 2 conversations with people from different areas. One was Colorado, where the gentleman said, we've just been given South Dakota a thought of moving here, and there's a chance that our company is going to relocate. And then the other one was just some people that were from Florida that said, we've heard so many good things about South Dakota, and we just are so excited that, we think we might want to consider moving here. And this was like an hour-long conversation with them because we talked all the way up and down about, the great things about South Dakota. But I also said, now you're from Florida. Do you understand that we could have 4 seasons in one day? And they said, that doesn't deter us. That's kind of exciting to see.
Talk to me after a little snow.
Well, it's just like a couple Sundays ago. We had snow in the morning and then 60 in the afternoon. But to that point, there is a lot of outside interest in what's going on here in South Dakota. But I think this is a nationwide thing. Nationwide, we're seeing this, this trend toward inventory levels being low, multiple offers. Interest rates are good. So that's, precipitating some of this. But when I see these blogs where people are saying, I wonder when this is going to end. I wonder when we're going to, get back to whatever, quote, normal inventory levels is. I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't have a date. I don't have we'll be done with it in 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. Don't know what that is, at this point. But We are starting to see a little bit of some of the pricing level off in some price points. I mean, it's still higher, but and then we are still seeing multiple offers. And depending on the home, they could have double-digit multiple offers, or maybe you're only up against two. So again, we're not only realtors, but we're also kind of pseudo-counselors in talking with our buyers, making sure that they're very well informed with what's happening in the marketplace, going into it with realistic expectations. Because if not, could be a very frustrating process for them.
You know, you're going to talk price points. And one of the things that I looked at when I thought about that this morning, about 12 years ago, we bought a house, our second house in Hartford. And the value we paid was $132,000. Today, it's $240,000.
Absolutely.
So what's happened to not having enough $200,000 homes when all of those that were $130,000 to $150,000 that were taken care of are now in the 200 plus today?
So the glass half full version of this conversation is people who own the homes like you that bought for $138,000.
What a buy.
But it took time. It didn't happen overnight. There was an appreciation factor. So the fact that, now your home is worth that, that's a lot of equity. That's capital. It's just a peace of mind knowing that, you've got that. Because like anything, it's an investment. Homes are. So it's not only investments. It's considered, what's that safe place that you come to every day and feel comfortable. And, that's part of the conversation too. But when it comes to price points, for example, I had kind of pulled up real quick because a lot of times first-time home buyers, when we deal with a lot of first-time home buyers, and it's exciting, and we're all want to look at someday owning a home or having that possibility. Well, under 200,000, there was 77 active homes on the MLS. So, and I think that and then between 200 to 300, because I'm seeing actually first-time home buyers are actually breaching into that 200 to 300 mark, which, back in the day, you'd say 200,000 for a first-time home buyer. Really? No, we're seeing a lot of that.
And we thought a 6% interest rate then was a pretty good deal. Today, we'd have people say, 6%? How can we afford that?
Yeah, we've had these lower interest rates for as long as we have, where I think that we're just about a whole generation of buyers are not familiar with that, conversation.
Double digit? What is that?
Well, we'll see what happens there, but at this point, we'll just deal with small increments right now.
Absolutely.
We're at 3%, and it may go to 3.25%, or it may go 3.5%. We'll just deal with that as we get it. But and then the other part here with these price points is that there is a few more homes on the market. I mean, I looked at the number of our inventory was somewhere around 964 homes that currently on our MLS. But of those, about 32% of them are actually active, meaning that they don't have a contract on it, because our MLS observes inventory as active homes, homes that are contingent, like contingent financing, contingent inspections, or contingent sale of home. So even though those are probably not necessarily viable to be putting offers in, you could always make a backup offer if you wanted to, because there's always a chance that home may fall out of contract. But at the end of the day, what my buyers are looking at, depending on the price point, is about 32% of those homes that are currently, quote, part of our inventory.
So we can forget the May swoon with kids getting out of school. It's year-round now.
I think so. I mean, right now it is. I mean, because the demand is so high, we're just not going to see much of a difference here. I am hoping that, and we did see a little bit of that last month, where a few more new listings came out on the market. So that helps ease things a little bit. And I think the other part I'm having conversations to people about is the cost of waiting. I mean, what is it? Because a lot of people say, well, why don't I just wait? I'll just wait till things loosen up a little bit, or maybe we can, a couple months from now there'll be more inventory. There might be. I'm not saying there's not going to be, but now you have the cost of waiting, and there's a couple different components to this, and we're going to have a little bit of a education or campaign that we're going to be starting here coming up soon. And what you're talking about, the cost of waiting, is homes are appreciating at a higher rate than they normally. They look at right now throughout the United States, appreciation is going to be on average about 7.7%, where the normal appreciation in the past has always been considered about 4%. Now, that could vary depending on your location, meaning like the community, that sort of thing. The appreciation might even be higher than that. So now you have that component. So if you wait 6 months, that means that price of that home that you think you wanted is going to be higher. Then there's also the potential for what happens if interest rates tick up, another 3/4 of a point or a half a point or a quarter of a point. So it's kind of one of those things that it will actually cost you more in the long run to wait. We expect this market, compared to the stats that I had is all the way through 2022, everybody's predicting that this is going to continue as we see it right now.
Well, and if you need a home, you'd better look at what you can do today, what you might have to do tomorrow.
Yeah. And I think that the overriding message I would have for, the buyers is the fact that just be patient. Hang in there. Be having this, you kind of get to where you have a really close relationship with your agent or your professional you're working with. And I always tell people, it always seems like after we close on the home, it always kind of feels like a breakup because, we were texting or calling on a daily basis, what's happening? How do we do this? Can we go see this? And then all of a sudden we get done with the transaction. It's not that we don't want to have the conversation on a daily basis, but all of a sudden now it's like, hey, how's everything going? You've been in your home for 2 weeks. Or, hey, how's it going? You've been in your home now for 2 months. And like I said, it kind of feels like a breakup because you were used to having this daily conversation with somebody. So, but I would say that the opportunity is there. Interest rates are still good. Yes, there's plenty of homes coming out on the market. I would just say don't get discouraged. Hang in there.
Tony Bachman team, Keller Williams. Appreciate all you do. We'll see you on the Report Card Show.
Look forward to it next week, Bill. Thank you.